with your animation archaeologists, Jacob and Michael.
Hey everybody, it's Back in Toons, and we're continuing our conversation on dead animation studios from, well, some of it's before we were born, some of it is as I was a kid, but I think most of this is going to be defunct by the time Jacob was born.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, we did the two Hanna-Barberas. Obviously, Hanna-Barbera's gone. We're talking about doing Filmation soon, and some other studios that went defunct, like Ruby Spears. Like I said, this is probably the last year of Back in Toons to just kind of do big wrap-up episodes. So we're not getting boiled down, unless it's a really, really good cartoon that we've missed. So just give me a heads up, in the next year we'll be doing Back in Toons and Comics on Infinite Earths, and our movie stuff. It's all going to be rolled into one show because, frankly, I don't have this much time. I can't believe I've carried this on for 5 years. You probably think it's strange that I do this so much. It's like an OCD, I think.
Just a little bit strange. You just gotta calm down a bit.
Just
Breathe, Michael.
a little bit. Gotta wiggle it. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just like a worm crawling out from the ground. Just wiggling out just little by little, eating all those nutrients, and then snap!
Yeah, it's originally 5 years ago when we started this, we did Back in Toons, and we did a show called Retro Rocket Entertainment where we just gathered up all the information. You know, it celebrated anniversaries, stuff like that, and it's a terrible fucking name. I don't know what I was thinking. Retro Rocket Entertainment, no one cared, but I got a good title. Hopefully no one takes it. But from here on out, though, we're still talking about cartoons, and this episode we're discussing the dead studio Depatie Freleng, which a lot of you, unless you are my age or older, you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Had you heard of this studio?
Know.
Did you know anything about this studio?
No, only till after I realized the cartoons that they did. I mean, like Spider-Woman and Fantastic Four with Herbie. No human torch, no. Because everyone was afraid the kids would light themselves on fire just to recreate that shit.
You know what's weird is, if I remember correctly, Herbie shows up in the comics for a short run where he goes psycho and he starts attacking them, and they're like, yeah.
God.
And I think they fucking destroyed Herbie. I can't remember, but I do recall him being in the comics and thinking that was a strange choice. But you know, the people who are watching the cartoons are like, where's Herbie? And I'm sure the fans of the comic were like, where's Human Torch? That's a weird anomaly. This is that Fantastic Four is going to lead into the next evolution to Depatie Freleng, which we'll bring up at the end of this episode. But let's kind of start at the beginning. This is after
rewind.
Warner Brothers basically shut down their division, and yes, they would license out. You know, they did the Daffy Duck, Speedy Gonzales.
Oh.
So they did those cheapo cartoons for a few years, and I think they did a few animated specials, but for the most part, they shut down the studio. And then, like in the late 70s, they said, hey, why don't we package up all these cartoons and with wraparound sequences and throw them into the theaters and see what happens? And the first one was a big hit. You know, so that they've kind of abandoned it, but they have these little spurts where they bring back the characters again, like we had Space Jam and we had Back in Action, stuff like that. But, like I said, in the 60s, studio ended, and we have Friz Freleng went off and created his own studio and got hired to do the animated opening to Pink Panther, which is great. It's not the best. I think the one that Richard Williams did for Return of the Pink Panther is much, much better.
Right. Mainly having to do with like the original Pink Panther.
I think it was later. I'm pretty sure it's Return of the Pink Panthers when they started bringing in Clouseau. But that was such a hit, they got hired to do animated shorts before the movies, back when that was a thing.
Yes.
I mean, yes, we've had the novelty of the Roger Rabbit and a few here and there, but through the 60s and early 70s, we had Pink Panther original cartoons in front of movies. And we had Inspector Clouseau even got his own series for a few years.
The Inspector.
Yeah. Those are probably the two most popular, and people tend to remember those. Ant and the Aardvark is one that I really remember. I think, even so, it says here it only went for 3 years. I remember that's probably the most popular of the other ones that they did.
Yes, because I think I do remember them. When Pink Panther was like kind of rebooted in like the early 90s, I want to say. I
Yeah.
know they were doing something with the Pink Panther. I remember watching it, and Ant and Aardvark were involved.
The and the Aardvark. I'm trying to remember the comedian that did that. He had his own show on a Canadian TV show called Bizarre. Damn it. John Biner. Who was famous for being in a commercial where they said, "Hey, I look 60 years old, but with all this Botox injection and skin peels, I look 58. I spent $10,000 to look 2 years younger." All right, that sounds great. But John Biner did clearly doing a Jackie Mason voice for the Aardvark. You know Jackie Mason from Caddyshack 2?
Yes, of course. I remember him.
I'm telling you right now, I swear, Mitch Hedberg takes his entire way of talking from that ant. Hey man, how's it going?
I always like to try, and I always wonder what fried beans would try like, because that way you wouldn't have to refry them again.
See, that sounds just like the ant. Now, apparently he's based on Dean Martin, but I don't really. I guess with his easy kind of boozy, hey, Pally, how's it going?
Yeah, there's something like very subtle kind of a tone of voice, like when you watch a John Wayne movie.
But yeah, you listen to Mitch Hedberg and you're like, holy shit, that sounds like the ant. We talked about this a few years ago when we did our Pink Panther episode. That one of my fondest yet strangest fucking memories as a kid. I want to say it was first grade. I got a horrible ear infection because Indiana, cold as shit, wind was blowing, I didn't cover my ears, and I got a horrible earache, and I was in bed, and I remember watching a marathon of the Pink Panther show. I can't remember which one exactly it is. I just know it opened up with Pink Panther and some big Pink Panther mobile and driving around the streets, and he gets out like for some world premiere, something like that. And I think
that was one of the earliest incarnations.
Why is that one of my fondest memories? I was in horrible pain, yet I always remember the Pink Panther for that. Strange.
It's like you serenaded me through my pain, kind of.
It did. Maybe that's what it was. It brought me pleasure while I was in so much pain. It's some sort of BDSM kind of strange. You can do whatever you want to me. You can whip me, chain me up, just show me some cartoons. You're fucked up. I know.
As long as you're dressed up as the Pink Panther while you're at it, using your tail as a whip.
As you're using that chainsaw on me, just go, "Hey, Pally." I'll get that out of there. I don't know. What are you gonna do? That's ridiculous. I can't do the Aardvark's voice, but now the rest of them I don't remember anything of. Maybe bare minimum a little bit of Tijuana Toads, which in my opinion is the worst of their theatrical. I can't believe this went on for so long. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, I kind of skipped that one. I was like,
Roland and Ratfink is a love letter to old timey kind of remind me a little bit of Dudley Do Right and the Great Race with Jack Lemmon. It's just really cartoony, but it's like turn of the century. That is probably my favorite of the bunch. It's legitimately funny and it's really great character design.
Exactly. I know. I felt like I was watching George of the Jungle or something like that. As you mentioned, like Dudley Do Right. It was in that animation style.
Yeah. The Blue Racer, I watched some. I literally have no memories of. Just a talking snake. Hoot Kloot.
Yeah, it was brand new to me.
Yeah, Hoot Kloot. It was funny, but terrible design. I was like, this is some serious awful shit right here.
Yeah, I was like, no, I couldn't really get into it. I did not have a hoot with that one. I was just having like more of a meh.
Was it good? And the last one is maybe the worst of the bunch. Dogfather. Unfunny, terrible design. They're at their end. They're just padding out whatever contract they had with MGM.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, oh well, we're at the end of the rope. Screw it. Who cares?
Yeah. Okay, so other than that, they were supplementing themselves with animated series. Now, you and I both watched the Super 6, and I thought it was friggin' rad.
No, it was pretty dope. I mean, everybody else, it's like everybody in the Super 6 was like all cool and like muscular, except there's just that one little funny guy at the end. Oh god, I can't remember. But he'd always like explode, and everything would always go wrong with him. He was the comedic effort.
Yeah, I don't remember that one at all. Sorry.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing is they chose the heroes based on what power they needed. It's almost like Mission Impossible. It's just like, well, this particular hero is needed for, whatever task is at hand. So you don't have all the stars at once. It was kind of like Justice League Task Force, where Martian Manhunter would put together, or what's the show that we liked? Justice League Unlimited. It was kind of like
yes.
that.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what it was like. And then they really show up big time with that certain situation. I mean, like in the first episode with Green Arrow, when they first recruited him, he thought he was too small time, but lo and behold, he kicked that big robot's ass.
Yeah, it's all based on the needs of whatever the situation is. Super President. I did not get to see Super President. Did you watch this one?
I watched it briefly, and I was just like, it was like the latest Hellboy movie. I mean, it was good first half, and then the second half was like, eh.
You watched the new Hellboy. I heard nothing but bad things. Yikes.
I mean, like I said, I like David Harbour and, Ian McShane. They were great supporting cast, except Mila Jovovich just couldn't do it for me as the villain. She had, like, no enthusiasm, and some of the CG was bad, and the second half just kind of lost pace.
Fell apart. Oh, it sucks.
So, yeah. I know. There was some pretty good action.
One through line on all the people in these cartoons is Paul Frees. Paul Frees is probably my favorite. Well, that might not be true. But Paul Frees is a really great animated voice actor. Did a lot of radio stuff. Most people know him as Boris from Boris and Natasha.
He is.
Just tons of radio stuff. Did narration. I think we talked about him before in a previous episode, but he's just one of those very particular voices. He was also, he would regularly do like TV and movie stuff. Ted Cassie, is this who I think it is? Ted Cassie, isn't that his son from? They were wrong. I could have sworn Ted Cassidy's son was on.
Tick tock.
Yeah, David Cassidy. I thought he was David Cassidy's dad, but I don't see that here.
Oh.
But he was Lurch? What? Ted Cassidy was Lurch on Addams Family. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, but it's like Lurch barely spoke.
You rang.
Like you said, they probably just recorded him real quick and then just reused the sound bites.
Yeah. I did watch this one a little bit. Here Comes the Grump it was okay.
It was a terrible theme song.
Yeah, probably. Most of these have rough. Rip Taylor was the Grump, dude. Rip Taylor. I always remember Rip Taylor because he opens up the very first Bloodhound Gang CD. And he goes, Bloodhound Gang, those hiney hobbits, those crotch goblins, they're terrible.
I can't believe it. What they're doing. This is ridiculous. And then you just throw off his wig and just shake it all over the place. Throw confetti everywhere.
Do you remember he had a game show called the $1.98 pageant, where the winner would get $1.98?
No.
Awful.
Oh, God. It is. That does sound awful. I also remember him from Wayne's World 2. Oh, man. He's like, where else do you see a weird naked Indian? He can also see him, not just Wayne.
Yeah. Mr. Jaws and Crazy Legs Crane were supplemental cartoons added to Pink Panther for when it went to television. They're fine. They're obviously TV quality, nothing great.
Yeah, like in between, like that's where it belongs, pretty much.
I did not watch Dr. Dolittle at all.
Dr. Dolittle had its perks. I was like, it's cutesy, but I mean, I can only see it going one season. It's a one-time thing.
Yeah, it is funny. Is Dr. Dolittle was such a huge. It was so expensive, and it didn't make its money back. Nearly put Fox out of business. And they made a cartoon as a reminder.
Oh God, yeah! Don't do this again. Didn't you learn the last lesson? Hey, I didn't. Yeah, I did not know Dr. Dolittle was that bad.
Yeah, Barclays and Houndcats were pretty good. Not great, but they're better than anything Hanna-Barbera was putting out this time. I thought Hanna-Barbera was really phoning it in during the 70s.
Oh yeah, no, at that point, definitely.
I think that's the problem. I think the problem with Depatie Freleng is they're not well remembered because their studio got bought out and changed, and most of their stuff was from a studio that went out of business, and now all their stuff is licensed out to Kino, which is a very expensive specialty label company, and you just don't see it on television anymore. Yes, Pink Panther is a household name, but everything else is not.
I know, like you didn't see anything else take off. I mean, you see Ant and Aardvark appear in Pink Panther.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah, there's been many iterations of Pink Panther. I remember there was Pink Panther and Sons somewhere in the 80s, and then there was I remember Matt Frewer did one in the 90s where he was the voice of Pink Panther, which was weird.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, that must have been the one. But and they relaunched it when the Steve Martin movie came out, but that's it. And it's really sad those Steve Martin ones kind of suck because I'm a huge fan of Steve Martin.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah, Jackie Mason. He was also in The Jerk.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Hartoonian.
Yes, that's right. The gas station owner. You better watch out. He's gonna put holes in you.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Oh,
I
man.
don't remember ever seeing Bailey's comments. I saw like an intro and it looked pretty sweet, and I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find that one either.
Okay, Oddball Couple. I loved it and I hated it. I think I loved it because I'm such a huge fan of the Odd Couple in the first place. I also hate it because, this is the end of Depatie putting out anything like really like good.
Yeah, pretty much. It just felt very rough. Not as bad as the Battletoads, but still pretty.
Oh
rough.
yeah. Well, what's funny is I feel like I saw another Oddball Couple cartoon where they were in space. I'm sure that's a thing.
I wouldn't doubt it. Just put it in space. That'll make it better. That's it.
That's the rules. Oh, we're at the end of our run. Okay, so this is the one that I should love. I should love this because I'm obsessed with Planet of the Apes.
Oh yes, no, that was a good one too.
But you liked the Return of the Planet of the Apes cartoon? It's so stiff. Nothing happens.
No. I meant like Planet of the Apes. As far as franchise goes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I felt like watching one of those old, animated movies where it's like, it's just a still and then it's just like a live action mouth moving.
Yes.
Or the character.
Oh
That's
my God.
exactly what it was.
Barely better than that. Oh my God. Yeah, but good stories. It's much closer to the book though. There's a lot of things in there they couldn't achieve in the movie, and you're like, okay, I get that. That's a cool idea, but could you just put $5 more into production?
Yeah, just $5 each episode. That's all you needed.
This is gonna be a mini-sode, and I feel bad for anybody who's a huge fan of this because we're letting them down. But some of these cartoons are really hard to find, and I'm not shelling out the cash to Kino for these. What's New, Mr. Magoo? This is when UPA was pretty much out of business. We discussed them years ago. Probably one of the greatest unsung groups ever to innovate animation. Joe McBoing Boing and Mr. Magoo are the only two things they really had as characters, and they licensed out. They got Jim Backus back, and it's Magoo. If you like Magoo, you're gonna love this.
Of course, yeah. No, I mean Mr. Magoo was like a treasured classic.
Now this is the turning point in Depatie Freleng is when they sold their studio to Marvel, and I think it's because their close relationship with doing the new Fantastic Four and doing the Spider-Woman cartoon that connected them, and I think it was time for Frizz to go back to Warner Brothers because that's when they started doing those animated specials for television and the compilation movies.
Yes, the Merry Melodies. And didn't they also do like the Dr. Seuss specials, like the Lorax and Cat in the Hat?
Actually, I haven't got to the special yet. I think they did. I think they took over because Chuck Jones stepped aside. But Spider-Woman is fucking rad, and I loved it.
I loved it.
The new Fantastic Four is okay, but Spider-Woman, people need... I almost feel like there needs to be a separate episode because there's so much to cover. That's the Spider-Woman for a long time was tossed away. And she was replaced by the one in the white suit that was part of...
West Coast Avengers?
West Coast Avengers, thank you, yeah. And that's not the same one. Jessica... Oh, shit. What the hell is the name of Spider-Woman?
Jessica Drew.
Jessica Drew. I think I almost said Jessica Jones, but that's not right. Jessica Drew, yeah. And then they brought her back in the new Avengers, and she's a great character. She is not really part of the Spider-Man universe, which always throws people off.
Oh, yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, she wasn't well, in the animated series, yeah, she was bitten by a poisonous spider, but her dad gave her the serum, which gave her the powers.
Yeah, but in the comics, they're not really connected. There was a Spider-Woman comic book for only like 3 or 4 years, and then it just disappeared. There's a lot of stuff in the 70s and 80s that Marvel just tossed away and ignored for a very long time. I mean, Ghost Rider went for 7, 8 years, and then they threw it away for almost a decade.
Yeah, and then it came back in the 90s.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night. Yeah, so.
God, yes. Oh, man. Like I said, I'm hoping after this Doctor Strange sequel that, Kevin Feige will get more into, Werewolf by Night and
Moon
Ghost
Knight.
Rider and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe, yes. Oh, yeah, I think that's rumored as who Keanu Reeves wants to be in the MCU. Either that or Silver Surfer.
I think we should say, because there's still some superhero cartoons that I would love to cover later for maybe Comics on Infinite Earths.
Right.
Excuse me. I'm not feeling too good today, so I apologize. I'm having trouble breathing. You are correct. He did take over on some of the. They did Cat in the Hat. Wait, the Cat? That is the Cat in the Hat that everybody knows. Thank God we have this and not that shitty Michael Myers movie or Mike Myers movie. Oh my God, Cat in the Hat would have been much better with Michael Myers. Can you imagine with that mask and just a little bit of fur added to it and just stalking the kids?
Exactly, scaring them to be good children.
The Lorax is fantastic. He also did Dr. Seuss and the Loose. I do not remember that one.
No, I don't either. I was like, wait a minute. Well, did they actually get drawn animated version of Dr. Seuss, give a voice actor, and have him go on his crazy adventures that he writes?
No, I don't know. Okay, so The Bear Who Slept Through Christmas, voiced by Tommy Smothers, absolutely phenomenal. I love that one.
That one I missed out on. Damn it.
Halloween is Grinch Night, which is fun.
That one I didn't watch either. I just watched Cat in the Hat and the Lorax.
Okay, this is weird. The Grinch, Grinches, the Hat, and the Cat. That is a strange title.
It is. So it's like, wait a minute. Does he have something personal against the hat? Is it civil forfeiture? What is going on here?
They did a few Pink Panther specials. I remember the Olympics and a Pink Christmas because they put that out on disc together. This is so in 1981. It looks like is when they shifted over. They did three specials for Warner Brothers: Bugs Bunny's Easter special, Bugs Bunny's Looney Tune Christmas Tales, and Daffy Duck's Easter Egg Excitement. And I don't think you can find those anywhere. I don't know. Oh my God, they created the Little Caesars guy. Pizza, delivery.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the only thing they still got going for them.
Well, they still do Charlie Tuna, don't they? Isn't Charlie Tuna around? The psychotic fish that desperately wanted to be put into a can. What a suicidal fish.
No, I have not seen that.
I can't wait to be eaten. Oh. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
Alright, now just put me in a blender and take out all my bones.
Okay, so this is interesting. I did not know this. So we discussed this during the Pink Panther. I did not do my research properly enough. They only did the opening to the original Pink Panther and Revenge of the Pink Panther, which is, I believe, the final Peter Sellers Pink Panther, because after that is when it went off into those weird sequels. So they subcontracted, I can't say the word, subcontracted everything out after that. So Shot in the Dark, Inspector Clouseau, The Return of Pink Panther, and Pink Panther Strikes Again were all sent out to other companies. And that's why Richard Williams does Return and Strikes Again.
Oh, okay.
Someday we are going to cover Richard Williams. He didn't do much. He really didn't. But what he did was so special. Of course, he did our favorite, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But I think he's still working on a damn movie. I think there's one that he's had in production, and he's like almost 90. I got it here. Thief and the Cobbler. That's the one that's been torturous. I guess he did finish it. That's true. Thief and the Cobbler you have to see. Because there's two different versions. Thief and the Cobbler and Arabian Nights. And it's very interesting how different the two are.
Right. No, because I remember watching the one with that Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, which I believe is Arabian Nights, and that's the Miramax edition. But there is another version, and I would be interested to examine both those back to back and see the difference.
Right. Exactly. See the comparison, like between the regular cut and the director's cut.
That's weird. They did special effects for Star Wars? I didn't know that.
Oh, like what? Like the animated movies or the actual movies themselves?
They must have done some animation for the original. They probably did the lightsabers. Who knows?
Possibly, maybe.
They brought huge chunks of Warner Brothers with them. Holly Pratt is one of their biggest directors. Art Davis was a big director for them. Robert McKimson, who was one of the big guys there. Gary Shiniqua, I'm not gonna say his name right. All these guys were heavy influence over at Warner Brothers during the 40s and 50s, and thankfully, Friz Freleng was there to grab his guys. Yes, they got a lot less money, but they got to step up instead of just being producers or co-writers, whatever. They got to, be directors now and control the cartoon for themselves.
Exactly. They were calling the shots. Anybody that argued with them would learn a very hard lesson.
6 feet under. Tell him Depatie Freleng sent ya.
Yes, that's right. Swim with the fishies, you bastards.
Swim with that one over there that's kind of suicidal. They'll get him first.
All right, here. Let me get a little taste of them before you send them out. Oh God, that's good. That's real good. That's great.
So, next episode. This one obviously is shorter. Where are we at? Wow, this is maybe the shortest episode in a year. Oof.
Rolling.
But I wanted to cover this. But in 1981, it did sell to Marvel Productions, and I just a general idea of the cartoons that they did. I'm really happy. We did cover some of these, but we're going to cover the ones we haven't covered already. So yes, they did Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Dungeons and Dragons, G.I. Joe. But here's the ones we've never covered in all these years. Holy Grail of mine is Wolf Rock TV and Meatballs and Spaghetti. Guess what? Someone found episodes of Meatballs and Spaghetti and posted them on YouTube. Yes!
We thank you so much, sir, for your service.
So, Meatballs and Spaghetti and Pandemonium were two that I watched back to back. They were on CBS. Both episodes are now available. They're from this company. We have the Muppet Babies, which I cannot believe we've never discussed. We are discussing Muppet Babies. And I didn't even remember this one at all. Little Muppet Monsters from Jim Henson. Do you remember this?
No, I fondly remember Muppet Babies. Heck, I even remember like in an episode Spider-Man was in it, and then it turned out to be Animal, and I guess the suit ripped in half, and the other half of the Muppets fell down.
That's funny. So it's interesting because he worked with Sunbow so many times. I almost feel like we have to do 2 episodes because they did the Super Sunday show, which I watched all the time, which was Gem and the Holograms, Inhumanoids, Robotics, which we did discuss. So we can toss robotics off to the side. Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines.
Bigfoot and the Muscle Machine?
Yeah, a truck with feet. Do you know what the Bigfoot is? Little hands would come out.
Like a Tonka truck?
Yeah, but it had little hands in it that would come out and grab onto things like claws, and it would climb up rocks. I gotta show you the commercial.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Now I have to see it.
My Little Pony and Friends. That's gonna be a fucking tough one. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to get through this. But what's interesting about My Little Pony is it had sub-cartoons with it. My Glow Friends. Do you remember Glowworms? Potato Head Kids, which, I don't remember that one at all.
No, I don't remember Glowworms at all, or Potato Head Kids. I was like, whoa, what the hell? Where did these come from?
Defenders of the Earth, which is awesome. We have to do
Yes.
that one. Fraggle Rock had a cartoon. Little Wizards, which I've never heard of.
No.
Little Clowns of Happy Town. I'm gonna go ahead and just commit suicide now. Sorry, I'm out. I quit.
That sounds scary. I don't know. I think that might be Tim Burton's favorite cartoon.
Maybe. We did Dino Riders. We did RoboCop. We have Rude Dog and the Dweebs. That sounds awesome.
Rude Dog and the Dweebs. Okay, yeah, no, I have to look into that.
And I think we covered everything else no, we didn't. Some of these we won't do, obviously, because it'll be like a 4-hour episode. We can divide this up. Because there's one called Kid and Play. Kid and Play had their own cartoon, but I feel like there was a whole episode we could do just around celebrity cartoons.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, we did discuss like that. Remember when we discussed MC Hammer's cartoon?
Yeah, but we barely discussed it. We did Hammerman, me and Tony, when we did the What the Fuck cartoons, the craziest cartoons of all time. But you and I have not covered it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to do some really deep digging to find this cartoon. Good
Space
Lord.
Cats? I've never even heard of that. Space Cats?
No idea.
Huh. I didn't know that they did. Okay, so they did the original pilot for X-Men called Pride of the X-Men. Oh, that makes sense. For some reason, I thought they licensed that out to someone else before they shut down.
Are we talking about the early 90s animated series X-Men?
This is in 1989.
Oh, wow.
3 years before.
Damn.
So we have a lot for our next episode. So we'll discuss it, which ones we want to take, divide it up, because there's no way we could possibly discuss that huge list I discussed. We could maybe do like the first half of the 80s, like, Meatball Spaghetti, Pandemonium, Muppet Babies, and maybe the Super Sunday. But after that, that's way too many for one. Ooh, fuck, that's like a 4. I'll figure it out, kids, before I have an
It's a mouthful.
I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go.
Chew, goddammit, chew. Chew. Chew your food. Good, there we go. Don't forget to swallow.
Now you sounded like you had a bad.
Okay, kids.
God.
That's it for Back in Tunes, our shortest episode in ages. We padded that one too. We clearly padded that one. That was pathetic. All right, Jacob.
Oh, wasn't that padded? Just slight padded.
It's padded
Maybe
like
Zach
my.
Levy padded.
It's padded like my pectoral muscles. I'm so impressive.
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit like the Shazam outfit.
Yeah, I guess.
Just a
I gotta
little
watch
bit.
that. Hey, kids. So, speaking of, we talk about comic books all the time. We also have another podcast called Comics on Infinite Earths that is returning for, I don't know, whatever, on season 4? I can't remember. It's like episode 61. So we got a whole new season of that coming up after Back in Tunes, and we're launching our first one with, we're talking about the Titans first season, maybe the only season, because I don't know what the hell's going on over at DC Universe.
Oh, no. Season 2's actually coming out next month.
Is it the can? Okay, cool. Is it in my can?
Yeah, there's a trailer for it. Yeah, no, there's a trailer for it. Yeah, no, it's still in production. So's the Stargirl show is coming out.
That's right. I guess I have a little bit more, but I'm a little concerned. But that'll be our next
Doom
episode.
Patrol.
I'm going to get him to read some significant issues of the new Teen Titans, and maybe I'll watch a couple episodes of cartoon, even though I'm a little afraid, because Teen Titan Go looks like not my bag.
No, it isn't. It definitely isn't.
What's
the
the
other
one?
Teen Titan? That one's actually pretty
I'm confused, because there's Young Justice, there's Teen Titans Go. Why am I yelling at you? You're right there. Jeez. Sorry.
Well, yeah. Don't worry, I can hear you loud and clear.
What's the one after that? Because is there 2 Teen Titans cartoons?
Yes, there is. There was one that was like, I think, 2002 or 2003. I mean, yeah, it had like its little jokey moments, but overall, it did have some heart.
Okay. I gotta find that one, because I don't even know what that is.
That's where Ron Perlman was Slade.
Okay, cool.
He was Deathstroke. It was pretty awesome. I was like, wow, why is his voice so familiar? Then I realized, it's fucking Ron Perlman!
Okay, everybody. Check us out on Facebook under Back in Tunes, and on Retro Rocket Entertainment over at Twitter. And I guess be excellent to each other, and you send us out.
All right, namaste and good luck, my friends. Have a good night. Be sure to tip your waiter or waitress.
Fly me to the moon. Let me swing upon the stars. Tip your waitress tonight at your local bars. And anyway, we should go. I'll stop now. That was terrible.